In this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with Wizard, Barbarian, and Princess Leaf to talk all about Zombs, a half-brain card game in hopes of helping you expand your hoard of Halloween games as Halloween is upon us. We'll do this after Kickstarter Corner, in which we're bringing you 5 great games. So come on in, take your coat off. I'll take your coat, I'll take your hat. Have a seat here on the chair or on the couch. Go ahead and get comfortable as we get into this episode of Family Funday Friday, a part of Getting Geeky with Game Relief. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, Family Funday Friday, is proudly being powered by Fossil Find, a Domino Based Board Game. Fossil Find is a Domino Based Board Game that uses custom double 12 dominoes as game pieces. There's a lot of dominoes in one single box. It's a heavy box. We just got it here at the Leafs, and hopefully we'll be bringing a preview of it to you soon. As well as, you know what else is going to happen? We're going to be sitting down with the designer and creator of this great game, and we'll be bringing you an interview of that probably next week. So go ahead and check out Fossil Find, a domino-based board game that is on Kickstarter through the 18th of November. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Schumann Family Games' latest release, Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 alpha wizards. The Maple Street blog had this to say about it. It will definitely be one that stays in my collection because it does not feel like any other game I own. I don't own it myself, but it doesn't look like any other game that I own neither. It's a fun game and the Kickstarter just looks amazing. So definitely go ahead and check out some of the art, scroll through that page and see if it's something for you. It did fund in 11 hours on the Kickstarters, and I believe they're still going for the stretch goal. So definitely check out Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 alpha wizards that is on the Kickstarter through the 18th of October. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Rodent Rangers. Small Heroes, Big Adventures. It's a family-friendly RPG game that is inspired by classic cartoons of mousy adventures. You ever see Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers or some of those great 90s and 80s cartoons that I grew up with? Well, now they're called classic. While I don't agree with that, because I don't feel that I'm that old, I guess they are becoming classic cartoons, and this great Rodent Rangers, Small Heroes, Big Adventures was inspired by them. Also, there's a character that looks a lot like and reminds me of Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective, which was back then in those days as well. Something Snack Leaf really likes to watch. So if you like RPGs and you want your family to get in on it, or you just like awesome art, definitely check out Rodent Rangers, Small Heroes, Big Adventures. That's currently on the Kickstarters through the 25th of October.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Are you comfy? Can I get you a cover? Here's some milk. Do you want cookies to go along with it? We've got chocolate chip and macadamia cookies. Which would you prefer? Okay, here you go. Enjoy these as you sit back and relax with our review of Zombs, a half-brain card game that will be coming to you straight after our Kickstarter Corner.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaves computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leaves.
There's some great games currently on the Kickstarters. I'm sure you're aware of this, so you don't have to peruse through all of them. We here at Getting Geeky with Game Relief will bring you our Kickstarter Corner, in which we'll talk about some of the great games that we found on there. Do you like card games? Are you into IT? Do you like nostalgia and zombies? Well, definitely check out Stupid Users Beta. Beta is a unique, fast-paced, ever-changing item-looting, army-building card game. At the time of the recording, there's only 37 hours to go to get in on the fun from Rodent Rangers with Stupid Users Beta. The Leafs actually sat down and we previewed this game. It was fun. Like I said, nostalgia in this game, as one of the characters is fashioning a old Ghostbusters outfit, or so it appears to me, as well as one of them is wielding a sword that reminds me greatly of Lionel from the Thundercat sword. It was a fun game. We really liked it. Plus, there's a comic book to go along with this great game. And you know what? They have reached their funding goal, and there's still a little bit of time for you to get in on this. By the time this episode releases, you'll have probably just over 24 hours or less, depending. So why not go ahead and jump over to their Kickstarter page? We'll leave links in the show notes like we always do. And check out Stupid Users Beta on the Kickstarter through 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow, the 6th of October, or Saturday. We found a new one on the Kickstarters. It's called Dice Bomb, a quick 2+ player game where you set bombs for others while avoiding being bombed by yourself. Yes, Dice Bomb is simple, portable. The print and play is only $1, and the other one is $10. You get a Dice Bomb pad for $10. The complete package for both the sheets and the dice and everything that you need is only $20. They're cool dice with actually bombs on them. If you want us to continue to bring you great games, let's show the creators a little love by making sure you click our links to check out the Kickstarters, and if you like them, back them. That way they can go ahead and trace back to where you found these great games, that you heard them here first on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. It helps the creator out, it helps us out, and it helps you continue to get great games. Brought to you by Game Relief on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, that you're obviously listening to right now. Something a little bit different than bombs. It would have been nice if they had bombs back then, because they could have easily, or more easily, destroyed them, were dragons. Have you heard or seen about Dragon Lords, the Battle of Darion relaunch? We did a special sit down with Paul, the creator of this great game. But to tell you a little bit about the great game, it's a skirmish-based card game in which 2 players build armies and battle head-to-head from Wolflord Games. Go ahead and scroll through. The art for this game is amazing, and they have reached their funding goal. Currently, they're looking at unlocking some all against one and solo modes, as well as a 4-player mode. You know how you can help them with that? Go ahead and share it on the Facebooks. There's some social goals. So even if you like dragons but your pocketbook is not big enough, go ahead and help them out that way. This project is on the Kickstarters through Friday the 19th of October. So definitely head over to the Kickstarters and check out Dragon Lords, the Battle of Darion relaunch, and help them get those other modes by sharing on Facebook or liking on BGG. Another dice game, well, not necessarily a game, but another dice product on Kickstarter is Mad Dice at a reduced price, aka Mood Dice. That's right, these are color-changing dice based on surrounding temperatures, aka Mood Dice. Now they've got reduced prices from when they had been on Kickstarter previously. When they relaunched, which was shortly after they found out the new prices, Madly Dice, they refunded in 2.5 hours, so that's amazing. So go ahead and check them out if you want dice that can change color depending upon your mood or the temperature. Definitely check out Mad Dice, reduced price, aka Mood Dice, on the Kickstarters through the 22nd of October. This one's not necessarily new. It may have slipped through your grasp. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. But either way, if you know my favorite mechanic in games, it's actually deck building. And there's a deck builder currently on Kickstarter called Builders, the building deck building game. A lot of building, isn't there? Well, Builders is a deck builder where you're trying to build the tallest and most valuable skyscraper. That's awesome, isn't it? So the gameplay sounds great. You get an awesome deck builder, and you can go ahead and try to get your skyscraper taller than anybody else's. It was previewed by Brawling Bros, Geeky Gamer Guy. Ooh, that's similar to me, but it's Geeky Gamer Guy. So you can scroll down and check those out on the Kickstarters and help them make this game not just something that's on the Kickstarter, but a reality. You have through Wednesday, the 24th of October, to check out Builders, the building deck building game. Definitely check that out on the Kickstarters. So I recently found another great game that's on Kickstarter currently called Gordian Layers Portal Bound. It's a 2 to 4 player tactical deck drafting card game of war and intrigue. And guess who I'm going to have on the podcast next week? That's right, the creator of Gordian Layers. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. Just to tell you a little bit more about this great game. It's story rich, card driven, location control board game with a high skill ceiling but a low entry barrier. Players draft the factions they will include in their deck and use them to take strategic locations or to vie for influence over their peoples. Each faction comes with a unique faction ability that changes the dynamics of the game in a big way. Do you need a refill of your soda pop or milk to go with those cookies? You want more cookies? The other kind? Great, I'll go get them for you so you can go ahead and catch this great preview of Zombs, the half-brain card game that's currently on Amazon to help you build your horde of Halloween games as Halloween is upon us in a few short weeks. I'll be right back with that. Here you go. Thanks. Enjoy, and definitely not just the treats, but we hope you enjoy our preview of Zombs, a half-brain card game. We join this preview of Zombs already in progress.
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
The zombie apocalypse hit pretty hard in Leafland. However, this only slightly affected the Leafs, as they had been preparing for this for quite some time. In fact, they were so prepared, they were some of the very first humans to turn. But before turning, they made sure they had been scoping out where they could gain and grow their own hordes ever since the announcement had come across on the national cell phone alert that had been implemented by the current administration. They knew it saying a test was only really a test to see how many were really prepared for the apocalypse that had been going on ever since January 2018 and had been progressing its way outwards from the United States Capitol. Just because he got his grocery shopping done at the local market, Gamerly figured that would be the best place to grow his horde of faithful followers, especially as he had built up quite a rapport with a few of the cashiers and baggers who were usually on duty during his shopping trips. While on the other hand, Wizard Leaf preferred WX World, as their claim to fame was low prices. Also, anyone knew the real characters could be found there, especially professional people watchers. Barbarian Leaf, however, took on a whole different approach. Why not have them all be of some relation with each other? That way no one would leave, as they'd be worried what might happen to their brother Bob or sister Sophronia if they did. Even undead families were said to be more inseparable than those of the living. This could have come from the fact that the only studies that were able to be completed in this endeavor had been done by drunk Harvard students in the nearest cemetery. Their analysis stated that families that were buried together on the same plots of land were happier and less likely to leave the rest of their kinsfolk. They might have failed to divulge all of their information. We may never know. In Chris Whitpan's latest interview of one of the greatest gamers of our time on
Welcome to Game All Night.
Well, hello and welcome to another Game All Night.
as seen Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it was stated that none of the bodies buried there had relocated in all their years. The guest seemed to be an expert in this area, especially due to the fact that instead of attending classes, he spent his time in the mausoleum running D&D campaigns or playing his latest Kickstarter-backed games. Barbarian Leaf's horde seemed to cover all one's bases. Gouged George was blind before his untimely undeath befell him. This actually worked out perfect for Barbarian Leaf, as he not only got George in the package, but also his zombified dog Fido, which occasionally played with George's unneeded eyeballs. Drowning Danny came to the wedding as well. He was all garbed out in his scuba gear. He had what seemed to be a pet shark that he toted around in one of those human kiddie pools, which was duct taped to a Red Ryder wagon. Word on the street is that the only reason he did this was he didn't want to part with his leg that Sammy the Shark used as a chew toy. Heck, occasionally Sammy would even play fetch with the leg. While Cecil Corpse didn't have a pet to speak of, he had something even more useful. Or should I say, he was something even more useful. Think of a zombie. That is a Swiss Army zombie. He had hammers, nails, screwdrivers, squares, anything needed to construct a home embedded in his body. Paul Puck was obviously the jock of the family, as he was a professional hockey player before he was zombified. Needless to say, he never changed out of his protective garb, so think of him as a smelly zombified jock. I'll let the stench settle in. Don't let it spoil your appetite though, as we've got ice cream to go along with your cookies. What flavor would you prefer? All of these zombies were there to commemorate Elvis's uniting of Dead Dean to Severed Sarah in undead matrimony. With them all being zombies by the time Barbarian Leaf arrived to crash the party, so to say, it was hard for him to tell who Sarah's kin were and who Dead Dean claimed as cousins. Luckily, Barbarian Leaf wasn't too particular of such information. He deemed it unpertinent. Ghastly Grace showed up in her nurse outfit. The trouble was, instead of a pet rock, she had a pet head. Dr. Dread had suffered head loss while trying to operate on one of the first zombies to turn. In a rush out of the hospital, which had been overtaken by zombies, Grace had forgotten to bring the doctor's extremities and trunk along. He wasn't exactly on life support, but he had an IV of penicillin going into his left ear. She couldn't find a vein that was acceptable. Plus, she figured, worst case scenario, it might help eliminate Doc's gray ear hair. Toxic Tim had been on duty at this time, so instead of decontaminating the outside world, he decided to spread his toxic cheer at the church where his brother was making the best choice of his undead life thus far. Brainy Beth was the elementary teacher of the family. While she was still teaching the kids, she had started collecting brains in places of apples for brownie points, but in this case, brainy points. Last but not least of Barbarian Leaf's horde was Glenn Naw. which was perfect as he was a veterinarian. This way he could help Drowning Dan and George if their pets ever needed a professional's care and love, while his hoard is quite horrible if you think about it. I won't even go into how minimal my hoard or Wizard Leaf's hoard was, and they all unlived happily ever after, if you will. Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither, but this is the story of the Leafs rendition of us playing Zombs, a half-brain card game that's currently on Amazon. Now, let's go ahead and dive in to their review of this great game, shall we?
Let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Family Funday Friday. We want to make our reviews better for you. How can we do this? Please message my dad on Facebook at Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, or email him at gamerleaf@gamerleafgo.com. Kind of like Pokemon Go, but Gamer Leaf Go.
Yeah, like she said, gamerleaf@gamerleafgo.com. Or send us a message on Facebook. Or you can send it to Blake Leaf on Facebook as well. Well, like she said, we would love to find out what we can do to get our reviews better so you can know which games you and your kids might like to play. So go ahead and get us a message. Now, like we said, it's Family Funday Friday, and I'm joined by
Princess Leaf.
How you doing, Princess Leaf?
Good.
Good to hear. What game did you play today?
I didn't play it today. I played it a few days ago, but we played Zombs.
Zombs? Yeah, are you talking about Zombs, a half-brain card game that's currently on Amazon?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, when you first saw Zombs, a half-brain card game, before playing it, what were your thoughts, or what did you think of it?
It looked fun and creepy and cool with the art.
Cool. At first, I recall you didn't want to play, am I right?
Yeah, I guess.
But you changed your mind, and are you glad you changed your mind?
Yeah.
Why's that?
So I could play.
Well, there you go. Awesome. So you said the art's kind of creepy and stuff. It reminds me of Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid. What is the theme of this game, Princess Leaf?
Halloween.
Halloween? Yeah, or zombies and zombs, so that's cool. How well do they execute the Halloween or zombie theme?
Good.
Good. Well, that's good. And how, like, if me and you were to sit down to play Zombs, a half-brain card game, how do we play that game?
First, if you're the dealer, you deal out each player 7 cards. And if you're doing a 2 to 4 player game, you can do teams.
But we played the non-team version, so let's talk about this one. If they want to find out how to play a 4-player team version game, there's a great video that explains all of that on www.zombsgame.com. We'll leave a link in the show notes. How does a play go down, Princess Leaf?
First, of course, you hand out 7 cards to each player. So if there are 3 players, you hand each of them 7. But if there were 2, you would just hand them out 7. And then at the start of your turn, you draw 8 cards.
8 more? So there's 15 total?
1 more.
1 more, okay. So yeah, you draw 1 more, and then what happens from there?
Then you start playing, and there are different cards. You can block somebody if they already did it. You can play a card. You can start a horde.
So I'm the first player, so I have a hand in front of me. Nobody else has a horde, so what do I do from there?
You have to start your own horde.
And how is that done?
By having different colors. There's orange, blue, purple, and red.
And can I, like, if I have a 3 or 4, or is there any number that I can use to start my horde?
5 or a 6, and then you can go down from that. If you start with a 6, you can go 5 to 1, and if you start with, and you can do the opposite, 6 to 10.
So what you're saying is I need to put down numbers in sequential order?
Yeah.
But I have to have a 5 or a 6. Is there any other ways in case maybe I'm young? Well, I wouldn't recommend necessarily playing it with younger kids. But if younger people are playing with it, because there are somebody who can't. Well, hopefully they would know their numbers. But is there any other ways to tell which ones I can use to start my horde?
There's a mark on it.
Yeah, an asterisk thing. I forget what they call it on the video. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so it has to have an asterisk thing. But to tell you the truth, it is a 5 or a 6. Now, if you started a purple horde, and then it got to me, can I do a purple horde as well?
No, you have to do a different color. And I did start with 2 purples. One purple, and I won twice.
Well, good job, Princess Leaf. Kudos to you. It's our turn. We started our horde. What else can we do on our turn? Do you remember?
You can also, if there's a card in the discard pile, and there are different cards if you don't start before. There's a unblock card if you get blocked. And there's also Search the Grave. Like, there's a card that says Steal the Cookies, Steal from the Grave.
There's probably not going to be many in the discard pile since you're the first player, Princess Leaf, so that makes sense. But those are the cards there. Now, it's gone around once, and other people have started their hordes, if you will. And you talked about blocking. What can you tell us about blocking someone else's horde, and why would this be beneficial to you?
It would be beneficial because it's good. And also, you can block them by doing a different color, a different number. You should try doing a different color, because it will just help them if they try to take it. And then you can also have, like, the zeros you can block with it. I don't remember what they're called, though.
Will that stop them from winning the game? Can't they still win if they're blocked?
They have to unblock themselves with a unicorn, Frank the Pig, or an unblocking card.
Or another number. You learned recently that you can go ahead and unblock with the higher number in the card. Say she has a 5 and a 6 down. I can go ahead and put another color and a different number, preferably something I wasn't using for my horde. Like if I put a 7 on her, a red 7, she could then in turn put a number higher than that 7 to unblock her horde and continue with play. And there's other ways. There's also quarantines, in which if you have two different quarantine cards, you can put those on and block both ends of their horde so they can't continue to go. What about curing a zombie? I don't know if we did that when you played, but what would that do for us?
I don't know, cure a zombie?
Yeah, so if you have your purple ones, you have like 5, 6, 7, 8, you're getting really close to winning. There's 2 ways to win. You can play a 7 game with your 7 in a horde, or all 10. I didn't have anything to block you with, but I want to make it so I can win sooner than you. I would put that card down, cure a zombie, or unblock block, and I don't have anything blocked on me. I put that card down, and then that way I can take one of your cards off of your, off your horde, and that will help me win sooner. Well, wait, did we talk about how you win Zombs?
You have to get 10 or 7 zombies.
Yeah, so all of them, and the whole, you have to finish your horde before everybody else. So, what did you think of the gameplay, Princess Leaf?
It was fun.
Just because you won, or what if you didn't win?
It was also fun to spend time with the boys.
Well, there you go. So, will you play this game again?
Yes.
And if you had your own money, would you buy it on Amazon.com?
Yeah.
Awesome. And what would you tell your friends about Zombs, a half-brain card game that's currently on Amazon?
Play Zombs and order it on Amazon if you want to play it.
But why should they play it? Why would your friends care about Zombs, a half-brain card game?
Because it's Halloween, and my friends like creepy.
Oh, yeah, Halloween and creepy. That's good. But there's no candy in this game, is there?
Why would there be? You're not really being in it.
Oh, interesting. Well, anyways, so there you have it. You heard it here first on
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf.
What Princess Leaf thought all about
Zombs, a half-brain card game.
That's currently on
Amazon.com.
Well, let's see what the other Leafs thought of Zombs, a half-brain card game, shall we?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, I think we will. Thank you for joining us this week, Princess Leaf.
Yeah.
So, guess who we're joined by now?
Barbarian Leaf.
Great. Glad to have you, Barbarian Leaf. What game did we play today?
Zombs.
Yeah, Zombs, a half-brain card game. When you first saw it, before we played it, what did you think of Zombs, a half-brain card game?
It looked fun.
Cool. So did it end up being fun?
Yeah.
Cool. So what can you tell us about the play? Like, how does it play?
You're trying to get to 10 zombie, or you could play a faster way to get to 7. There's reds, orange, blues, and I forgot the other colors were there.
Purple, green. What did you think of the game overall after playing it?
I probably can play it again.
Oh, you would play it again? Awesome. If you had your own money, would you buy it on Amazon?
Yeah, if I want to play with my kids.
You don't have kids, do you?
When I get kids.
Oh, when you get kids. And what would you tell your friends about Zombs, a half-brain card game that's currently on Amazon?
It's a fun game. And it's for Halloween, probably.
Yeah, Halloween's coming up, so that's exciting. Now we're joined by Wizard Leaf. When you first saw it, before playing it, what were your thoughts?
I thought it looked pretty interesting, though. I actually thought it, before I knew anything about it, that it was the same zombie game we played last time, because I didn't realize we got a new one. The Stupid Users Beta.
Yeah, Stupid User Beta, yeah, something different. So, what were your thoughts afterwards, after the fact? Oh, after you played it?
Well, I kind of kept getting stuck in blocks, so I was never able to do much, but probably if I'm able to do more, it seems pretty fun.
So what do you think of the art?
I like some of the art, yeah. There were a few cards I didn't care so much for, but that was more so just because I wasn't interested in the theme of the cards than the art being bad or such.
Oh, okay, and what's the theme of the game?
It's about a bunch of zombies, basically.
So you don't care for a zombie theme?
There were just certain zombie characters that I didn't really care so much for.
Were there ones you liked?
I don't know the exact names, but I pretty much liked all of the blue ones and a few of the orange ones.
Did you go for a blue or orange horde?
I tried going for a blue one the very first time we played, but that ended up getting messed up because you played a blue one before I could.
Uh-oh, yeah, that'll mess you up every time. So, how did you think of the overall, other than being blocked and whatnot, what did you think of the play of the game?
I think it looked pretty fun, and potentially it could be a pretty quick or a pretty slow game depending on how it's played and what cards everybody gets.
Do you think you'll play this game again?
Yeah, probably.
And if you had your own money, would you buy it on Amazon?
I would, yes.
And what would you tell your friends or anybody else that's listening? Any final words about Zombs, a half-brain card game that's currently on Amazon?
I think I would just give them a general overview of the game and then let them know that it's on Amazon if they want to get it sometime.
So what would your general overview of Zombs, a half-brain card game be, Wizard Leaf?
I would basically say how it's a game with a bunch of like zombie cards, and you have to pick a certain colored one to start off your horde, and each zombie has a number, and when you have to place one with the next number, the number before the one you place, and the one you place has to have an asterisk and be a special card, and then you win when you get to 10 cards, but you can also block people's hordes and stuff like that.
Awesome, yeah, or get rid of their horde completely by healing a horde card. How many leaves, or what kind of rating would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10.
So pretty high up there on the Richter scale, so that's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf to talk all about Zombs, a half-brain card game. I appreciate it, Wizard Leaf.
No problem, thanks for having me.
Now for what you've all been waiting for. My turn. Did you grow up in the 80s? Have you ever heard of Cabbage Patch Dolls? Well, I didn't really care for them. I seriously doubt that we had any in our home, even though I had my fair share of sisters. Reason being, they probably cost too much, and my dad was not going to spend his money on a doll. But something that didn't cost that much was a parody off of these that was wickedly gross. In talking to the designer of Zombs, if you're interested, you can find this episode on episode 179, Wishlist Wednesday on Monday, Zombs, a half-brain card game. But in talking to him, I discovered that this game was inspired by none other than Garbage Pail Kids. I had to do some research because it's been a long time since I had seen any of them, so I turned to the interwebs. In doing so, I found an awesome video. I want to one day own it or at least watch it in its entirety. It's called 30 Years of Garbage, The Garbage Pail Kid's Story. It looks like it's $9.99 on Amazon for the digital edition. I watched the trailer and holy cow, were these cards creepy. But oh, so cool. Made me want to jump back into collecting them. I wonder what Lady Leaf would say about that. Which I might consider doing now. Thanks, Glenn. In doing my research, it appears that they might have actually started printing them again. I wonder what the likelihood of me getting any of the creators to come on the show is. Would y'all be interested in me chatting it up with the creators of Garbage Pail Kids? Go ahead and drop me a line on Facebook or send me an email at gamerleaf@gamerleafgo.com. I'll see what I can do if you're interested. On a completely different note is what these Garbage Pail Kids might have grown up to look like. I would say they would have to look a lot like Zombs, a half-brain card game. Not so creepy, and just as cool if you ask me. You know me, I tend to hate rulebooks. Well, the rulebook for Zombs, a half-brain card game, is short, sweet, and simply put together. But even better than this is the creators have created an awesome how-to-play video, which should have been an interview with Frank the Pig. I'm still hoping for that interview. But the How to Play video is an animated play-by-play by the two creators. And like I said, they're both animated. And it isn't one of those serious videos either, just telling you how to play and how to take your turns. No, it's an awesome rendition, peppered with just enough comical relief. If nothing else, do yourself a huge favor and go watch the How to Play video. It will be well worth your time. Go ahead, pause the podcast now and head over to www.zombsgame, that's all one word, .com. Don't worry, we'll wait for you. Welcome back. What did you think? Right? I told you it was hilarious. I hope they'll also interview Frank, as well as some of the other characters. Wouldn't that be so cool? So, on their How to Play video, I gotta give them a solid 10. Also, while I'm there, I'll give them a 10 for the rulebook. Art does matter, doesn't it? Yep, I thought you'd say that. Well, the art and character names and depictions are awesome, so that's going to also get a solid 10. First play, while not the most important thing, I feel, it does hold a place. If you're like me and struggle somewhat in learning how to play games, it might be a bit rough, but not to worry, us Leafs never give up easily. So, we got it back to the table. Once we did that, both me and the kids wanted to keep on playing it. If I recall correctly, even though one of them had lost, they asked me if we could play it again and again. I felt the same way. So, I'll go ahead and give the play of the game an 8. Replayability, that's also important. I'm going to have to give that one a 10. I really want to get it back to the table. Perhaps I could go ahead and cream Lady Leaf at it sometime. So, in total, I'm going to go ahead and give Zombs, a half-brain card game, a 48 out of 50. More than anything, it rekindled the love of something I'd all but forgotten. Definitely adding this to my collection. Note, the creator gave us this game, or a prototype of Zombs, a half-brain card game, to review, which we received no compensation for. We'll be adding this to our tree of games, and you should too. Go ahead and run on over to www.zombsgame.com. Click the link and it'll take you there. Part of Amazon Prime, are you? Well, guess what's even better? Free shipping. Order it whenever you're listening, and you'll have that Halloween perfect game your group has been bugging you to play for Halloween game night. Or heck, play with the kids when they get back with all that candy. Winner gets your favorite candy bar. Note, pause the podcast right now. Make sure the kids are out of the room. Now listen to this. Don't lose. You don't want them having your favorite candy bar. And if you get them hyped up in sugar, that's not good. At least not in our house. Here, I can take your dishes. I hope you enjoyed not only the treats that we brought you, but hopefully you enjoyed our preview of Zombs, a half-brain card game. I know that myself, as well as Barbarian Wizard and Princess Leaf, enjoyed playing it, even though I didn't necessarily win. It was a fun game. I hope you'll go check it out over there at the Amazon.com. We'll leave a link to their site, which will take you to Amazon.com from a link. But definitely go ahead and check it out. And also, if you liked what you heard, you enjoyed listening to us, you find new games this way, or both on the Kickstarters as well as elsewhere, that me and the Leafs preview, we'd love it if you go ahead and tell your friends, tell somebody that might need help getting games or finding out about the different games on Kickstarter without having to find the designer, track them down, and ask all the questions that we try to ask for you. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the podcast where you catch your podcasts, as well as we can always use another rating and review, which helps other people find these great podcasts. Anyways, it's our least favorite time, your least favorite time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. Anything else? Any final words about Zombs?
Yes.
What's that?
Be geeky, stay geeky, and bring others to the geek fold. Geek out.
Game over. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf and Dreams are respawned.